What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and in another episode of corporate press manipulations. Here we go, folks. Check this out. Y'all remember January 6th, right? Yeah, that's what this thing is about, in case you didn't know. Let's get into this right quick, because I got to point out some manipulations that are they're just there. They are absolutely there. Check this out. FBI did not send undercover operatives to join January 6th attack, Watchdog says. Of course they're not going to. Hang on. Oh, I almost slipped it. I almost let it slip right there right quick. So, we know January 6th happened. There was a riot. But, you know, the corporate press, they label everybody involved as Capitol rioters, as a matter of fact. And we have factually differentiated between peaceful protesters and, you know, the couple hundred people that were actually rioting, that were actually fighting with cops. As a matter of fact, we looked deep into that. There was only about 50 people that actually fought with cops. There was 206 people actually found guilty or pled guilty to violent offenses on January 6th. Now, we know for a fact there's been over 1,400 arrests. What does that tell you? Just those numbers right off the top. What does that tell you? Yeah, that's a lot of people that were arrested for peaceful protesting, right? Because you can't trespass on Capitol grounds, right? It's a public building, for crying out loud, right? They were allowing people to walk in on the other side of the Capitol, right? You had the one side was barricaded, was blocked off. You couldn't go in on that side. That was where the people were fighting with the cops. But on the other side, there's video evidence of this, and we've seen the video evidence of cops just allowing people to come right on in, people peacefully walking around, waving their little American flags, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, some of those people were arrested and went to jail. Some of them sat in prison for a couple of years. There are still people, till this day, sitting in prison without trial. They don't have charges. They're just sitting in prison. As a matter of fact, we have political prisoners in this country, and everybody is up in arms, or at least the liberal media. They're up in arms. Oh, Donald Trump's going to pardon January 6th rioters. No, I don't think so. He did say he was going to look at it case by case, because he said some of those people that were arrested for violence, quote unquote violence, you know, we got to look into it. And hey, I'm right there with him on that. You look into it. See, make sure they were violent. If they weren't, hey, let these people go. But hey, if they committed any sort of violence, if they were fighting with cops, blah, 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 vandalizing the building, hey, you might want to pardon them if they're still there, as a matter of fact, because they've served their time at this point. That's been almost 4 years at this point. That's coming up on 4 years in less than a month. So, yeah, they've served their time, as a matter of fact. You pardon them and let them go. There's people still there. Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, right? They had seditious conspiracy or whatever. All he did, he sent a text message to the Proud Boys that were actually at the Capitol. He wasn't even in Washington, D.C. He got 22 freaking years. He sent a text message saying, stay there. Got 22 years for that. It's absurd. Now, there's been several congressional committee hearings, right? And we've seen them. Or at least I've seen them. Don't know about you guys, but Christopher Wray testifying to Congress. As a matter of fact, to my congressman, asking him how many informants or human confidential sources were at the Capitol, were at that riot, were at, you know, on January 6th, were they at the Capitol? He wouldn't say. Wouldn't say at all. He said he can't say. Right? Now, this was well after the fact. This was a little bit over a year ago. Now, if it's that long after this thing, why can't you say if there was any? If there was none, why can't you say we didn't have any informants, there was no undercover agents, no human confidential sources, none of that? Why can't you say that? Why can't Christopher Wray tell a sitting congressman that there was no informants at the Capitol on January 6th, 2021? Why? Because... Yeah, we don't know why. I almost said because there were, but we don't know. Now this Watchdog report comes out and says, oh, there was none, but you got to watch the language with these Watchdog reports and the corporate press and how they read it. But we'll get into that. Let's get into this thing. The report found that the FBI could have done more ahead of the January 6th attack by canvassing its field offices for intelligence from informants to prepare for what was to come. The FBI did not send undercover agents to participate in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol and did not authorize its informants to enter the building or engage in violence, the U.S. Justice Department's internal watchdog said on Thursday. Now, that's a lovely, nice, eloquently worded paragraph right there to say that, yes, as a matter of fact, they did have human confidential sources in the crowd on January 6th because they can't order them to participate in a riot. You love how they said that. Oh, they did not send undercover agents to participate in the January 6th, 2021 attack. Yeah, of course you can't send these people to attack. Nobody said you would. That would be a crime, as a matter of fact. If the FBI... What? Like, that's not what the argument is either, but you love how they worded that. Did not authorize its informants to enter the building or engage in violence. Yes, of course you didn't, because that would be a violation of the law. However, if you did send human confidential sources or undercover agents to go there and stoke violence like Ray Epps to say, hey, let's go into the Capitol, because there were several people doing that, right? Several people. There's video evidence of Ray Epps saying several times. As a matter of fact, there's one viral video of him saying, tomorrow, I guess it was on the 5th, saying, we got to go into the Capitol. And he's got a crowd of people around him, and they all start saying, no, Fed, yeah. Right. A lot of people think he was a human confidential source or an undercover agent or something of the sort. As a matter of fact, they're going to reference that here in a minute. But we'll get into all that. But they can't send them to go fight. You notice how they worded that, specifically to say they did not send them to participate in the 2021 attack. Right, they're talking about the actual people that were being violent, specifically. And they didn't send them to engage in violence. Yeah, of course not. The lies, the manipulations from these people, did they think we wouldn't interpret that in the correct way or something? Did they think they were that clever to word this in such a way, to phrase it in such a manner that people would think, oh, but they must have not had any human confidential sources in the crowd? Come on, man. We're not that stupid. I guess they think we're that stupid. But once again, like I said, it's the reason why I cover these is because this is where the mainstream narrative machine, the people like on CNN, I bet you when they come and report this, they'll say, yeah, they didn't have any human confidential sources, blah, 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 blah. They get their news from the news articles. That's where they get their news from because, yeah, they're news websites, of course. But let's keep going. The findings by Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz run counter to far-right conspiracy theories by supporters of President-elect Donald Trump, who have repeatedly made baseless claims suggesting the FBI operatives were secretly involved in the Capitol riot. No, that's not true. Once again, that is not true. That is not the claim whatsoever. We are saying that they were there stoking the people. They were inciting people to breach the barrier and then breach the Capitol. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that they were there to engage in violence themselves. Once again, you see how they do this, though? Oh, these people. One such false claim pertained to James Ray Epps, an Arizona man who entered the Capitol that day. Epps, who was charged last year with a misdemeanor for entering a restricted building or grounds, was falsely accused by Trump supporters and by former Fox News host Tucker Carlson of being an undercover government informant. Horowitz reports comes a little more than a month before Trump will be sworn in for his second term as president. He has pledged to grant clemency to many of the people who stormed the Capitol as soon as his first day in office. That is not true. He has not pledged to grant them clemency, give them a pardon, none of that. He said we're going to look at the cases. Because there's a lot of those people that you are saying were involved in the riot weren't involved in the riot were peaceful protesters that got arrested. And you love how they just brushed over the Ray Epps stuff, right? Let's go back over that right quick. Right quick. Notice they didn't reject the claims either. They said that's what they're claiming. But they didn't say that he wasn't an FBI informant. Let's reread that right quick, because I didn't catch that the first time I read this. One such false claim pertained to James Ray Epps, an Arizona man who entered the Capitol that day. Epps, who was charged last year with a misdemeanor for entering a restricted building or grounds, was falsely accused by Trump supporters and by former Fox News host Tucker Carlson of being an undercover government informant. Now, they didn't rebut that claim at all. Noticed how they just brushed over that right quick. That's what they said. Oh, they said it was. They didn't say he wasn't, did they? Oh, and he was charged with a misdemeanor, right? This guy, okay, so he was charged for entering a restricted area. Okay, well, there's no evidence that he actually entered a restricted area. Like I said, there's video evidence of this guy inciting a violent mob to storm the U.S. House of Representatives, the Capitol building, for crying out loud. And what, he got a misdemeanor charge for entering a restricted area? There's multiple videos. As a matter of fact, I think it's 3 videos. Different times him saying, we got to go into the Capitol. Huh. That's interesting. And all he got was a misdemeanor charge for entering a restricted area. Once again, like I said, there's no video evidence of him actually going through that barricade. But there's video of him standing at that barricade saying we need to go into the Capitol. And then he walks over and speaks in somebody's ear, and then that person storms the Capitol. That's interesting. But then he goes off camera, right? But once again, they didn't rebut the fact that we're claiming that he's a government informant. That sure looks like he is, doesn't it? Oh, he's not, says the corporate press, because they gave him a misdemeanor charge for entering a restricted area. Well, you notice what the vast majority, you go look at all the charges, the vast majority, almost ubiquitous, like almost entirely, they all got the official interrupting an official proceeding, or obstructing an official proceeding. I'm sorry. Why didn't Ray Epps get that? He was inciting the mob to enter the Capitol, to break down the barrier and go in. This is insane, y'all. They're coming out rebutting January 6th, but not doing a very good job, y'all. Missed opportunity. The report found that the FBI could have done more ahead of the January 6th attack by canvassing its field offices for intelligence from informants to prepare for what was to come. 26 FBI confidential informants were in Washington, D.C. on the day of the attack, the report said. So, there we go. Now they're admitting that, yes, those 26 informants were in Washington, D.C. What does that mean? Read between the lines. They were at the Capitol, inciting violence. 3 of them were tasked with reporting on domestic terrorism case subjects. One of those 3 entered the Capitol that day, while 2 others entered a restricted area around the Capitol. Yeah, that was the barricade or whatever. This is all insane, y'all. The other 23 informants who were in Washington to attend protests did so on their own initiative and were not asked by the Bureau to attend the events, the report said. Oh, lovely! They weren't asked to, but hint, hint, wink, wink. Hey, there's going to be this big protest that Donald Trump's putting on, and we need to set something up to make sure that he looks really bad. Right? Like, who thinks that Trump supporters, it's just, I'm not even going to say it because it's baseless. It's a conspiracy theory to say that the FBI incited that violent mob. We know Ray Epps did, as a matter of fact, and we know that they're not saying that Ray Epps is not an FBI informant. You put those puzzle pieces together and see what you get. You know, they want to say, oh, he's not because he was charged. Well, you know what? It was only after 6-8 months of people yelling and screaming after these videos came out of saying, what's up with this? How come this guy isn't arrested and thrown in jail with the rest of the January 6th people? This dude was back at his home, just chilling. Right? No charges, nothing. People talking about it all over the news. It was constant. People constantly talking about, circulating the videos online, blah, 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 blah. You get it, right? It was only after that the FBI went after this dude because he was just chilling at his house. Yeah, they could have went after this dude long before that. You figure you got video evidence of a guy telling people to go into the Capitol. That would have been one of their first targets. And you would have figured they would have gave him some sort of incitement of a riot, for crying out loud, considering how the corporate press labels this a violent mob, worse than 9/11, worse than Pearl Harbor, according to some House Democrats and Joe Biden, as a matter of fact. It's insane to think that they didn't go after that dude, really. Really, so you mean to tell me if I'm Ray Epps, I can just go and incite a mob to storm the Capitol, and all I get is I trespassed on Capitol grounds. Yeah, right. Yeah, freaking right. You want us to buy this? Really? They're trying to sell us a bill of lies, and I'm not buying it, y'all. Oh, there were no informants, involved in the... Yeah, shut your mouths, folks. Shut your mouths. Corporate press, they lie so freaking much. And I'm here for it, y'all. I am here for it. But once again, this is just... It's insane to me that they think that they're pulling the wool over our eyes with this. They think that, we got them now. We just debunked their baseless claims. You didn't... No, you confirmed it. Because now the corporate press is reporting on this. You got to read between the lines, though, once again. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Y'all don't forget, smash that like button for me. Subscribe to this channel if you're new around here. And share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. That's the only way I'm going to grow, y'all. I need y'all's help. Significant help. Straight up. I need your help. I can't do this without you guys. As a matter of fact, share this video, smash that like button, do all that good goobly gobbly stuff, if you know what I mean. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. I imagine, you guys have a couple of opinions, about all this, but y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.